welcome back as we delve into, or at least continue our health discussion this morning. Now, according to the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa, more South Africans die of cardiovascular disease than all cancers combined. That is a sobering fact. And that is a very frightening statistic that can be avoided, which intensifies it even more. And that's simply by a healthy lifestyle. Now, the food we choose to put into our bodies plays such an important role in maintaining a balanced diet that can help prevent hypertension and other heart-related diseases. And here to tell us everything we need to know about hypertension is Dr. Michele Vanzaghi, who, yes, I know promotes a healthy lifestyle, but you also wear another hat and you're a doctor. And you happen to be the man that we can call when we need to have these ideas demystified. And I think maybe that's the problem is we hear the term hypertension. Not many of us know what that actually pertains to and why it is such a killer. So please, can you explain to us what hypertension is and how does it affect us? How can it have that knock-on effect in terms of our overall health?
Cool. So hypertension, I think, maybe unpacking the term first, essentially means high blood pressure. And we all have sort of a blood pressure that's within a normal range for our age. And as we progress through life, our blood pressure range changes. But with our lifestyles and diet and exercise, often our blood pressures reach a point where they go above that reference range. And having high blood pressure puts us at certain risks for most commonly is cardiovascular disease and also stroke, so neurological disease. And the biggest thing about cardiovascular disease is that it's a disease of chronicity. So it's a chronic disease, and if you have it forever. But you can manage it with medication and with lifestyle. And the biggest risks, obviously, is because hypertension is a disease of chronicity and you don't really have symptoms. So that's what makes screening so important, you know.
Well, that being said, that reinforces why we need to go for tests regularly. How often should we be getting our blood pressure checked, and what does a good blood pressure reading look like?
So, I mean, blood pressure, it's a non-invasive test. So, I mean, you can actually do it at home. There's so many brilliant home blood pressure monitoring devices. So I would recommend anyone who has been diagnosed with hypertension to keep a blood pressure cuff or automatic monitor at home, so you can do that regularly. I mean, if you're a younger individual, I think once a year to do your blood pressure would be more than enough, and maybe moving past 50, maybe twice a year would be okay. And the normal reference range that we always talk about is your systolic blood pressure, which is the higher value. Should always be between 120 and 140, somewhere within that range. And then your diastolic blood pressure should be between 70 and 80. And those are, they are dynamic, and there are certain risk factors and other chronic comorbidities that change those values. But that's a good reference range to start with. And I mean, if you test your blood pressure and it's significantly different, obviously you need to visit your healthcare professional and see what's happening and why that's happening.
I think the most frustrating element here of this discussion is that it's preventable. Yeah. More often than not, I know you've spoken about comorbidities, but more often than not, it's a cause of lifestyle. It's a result of our lifestyle. Absolutely. So that being said, what can we do to prevent hypertension? Maybe let's start with how we live and what we put into our body.
So, I mean, you've said it already. It's what we do on a daily basis and it's such a difficult concept because, you know, every day is a new challenge and we need to make these constant decisions to live the healthiest lifestyle that we can, given our situation. And I think that's so important to remember how everything you do is a decision. And, you know, a healthy lifestyle starts with what you decide to do and how you approach your life. So I think in terms of hypertension, there's probably, obviously, everybody talks about a healthy lifestyle. I like to think about our physical health. Obviously, that includes exercising. And depending on whatever exercise you can do, I think you need to just do as much as you can.
Do something, just move.
You know, just keep moving. Then there's our emotional and our sort of spiritual health. I think people don't realize it, but stress and having emotional stresses and financial stresses is a significant cause of hypertension. And that's something that's often overlooked. People don't realize that our stress is also causing high blood pressure. And we need to control that through mechanisms and putting things in place.
Have a release, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the last thing is diet. Our diets are changing every day, and we have accessibility to such unhealthy food that's loaded with trans fats. And we need to change that, and we need to be aware of what we're eating. And I think the easiest way is to increase our healthy fats, our omegas and our unsaturated fats, and to reduce the trans fats in our diets, to reduce cholesterol, and to use products that are lower in cholesterol and sort of saturated fats.
Well, this has come up quite a lot in our journey with BWELL and the introduction of omegas. What do omegas and those healthy fats do to help in the case of hypertension?
So, I mean, products like BWELL, they're cholesterol-free, which is the bad fat. And it's very technical. You get high-density lipoproteins and low-density lipoproteins. And those are binding molecules in our bodies. And the high-density lipoproteins are healthy. They carry nutrients to our muscles and carry nutrients to where they need to be, versus low-density lipoproteins and cholesterol, which clog our arteries.
Right.
And that's essentially what causes hypertension, is narrowing of those blood vessels, and that pushes that blood pressure up. So, I mean, obviously you need to look for products that are high in omegas, and if you're cooking with oils, BWELL has an amazing canola oil that's got healthy fats. That's a really nice way to include good healthy fats into your diet.
And as you say, just those small daily choices can make all the difference in the long term. Buddy, your job is not nearly done. We're going to put him to work this morning. We can't have someone as healthy and wonderful as this and not put them to the test. And of course, we're going to send Michele into the kitchen in just a moment. But I think the key thing here is leading a balanced lifestyle. That's key to managing your health and can go a long way into preventing hypertension. It's not just your physical, but it's also your emotional well-being. And if you need some healthy food ideas for a happy heart and are looking for some inspiration, BWELL have created an awesome cookbook with amazing recipes that you can try, really simple stuff you can do at home, quick and easy, and it's free to download as well. And you can go to bwellfoods.co.za to get it.